Let's talk about post-traumatic growth. What it is, what makes it work, how it can make a difference in our grief journey and our healing. This is part 1 of 3 segments, so let's go. Closure, healing, moving on, new normal. Those are some of the phrases and words I've heard, and I'm sure you've heard from well-meaning friends and family who think they see we're in pain. Or maybe they just got to put their 2 cents in. Maybe it's projection on their part. Perhaps they feel that's what they would do if they were in the same place we were, in the same situation, having lost a loved one. All of this is said with kindness and love. I'm not criticizing anyone. But I have thoughts about those words. All of that sounds like puff. It's all better, like after a course of amoxicillin. Just to be clear, closure is denial, said pretty. It's indifference. I won't do that to Donna. There's something more going on that gets us to the point of healing following a trauma, following the trauma from a grief loss that we carry. Something that can happen, will happen, maybe kind of sort of happens. It's there. I want to talk about it. Post-traumatic growth, or PTG. I discovered it following a TBI, traumatic brain injury, that I had following a bike accident. As you can see, there it is. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a sec. After that near-death experience with the TBI, I had surgery for subdural hematoma, followed by a month in rehab. That month in rehab, I spent learning to walk again and regaining my language. I'd lost a lot of language because of where it affected me. I finally escaped from rehab after a month. A couple months later, I went to see a neuropsychologist. I think she introduced me to PTG. Maybe I discovered it on my own doing some research for a session I was going to have with her. But in any case, I spent some time learning about post-traumatic growth, and I got to tell you, it's pretty amazing. Below, there are a ton of links I put in there on post-traumatic growth. The first one was the original one I wrote way back when, and I think it's terribly informative. It's got a lot in there. I spent a lot of time writing it, and I think it's pretty good, even if I do say so myself, which I just did. So there we go. I'm like overcoming my self-worth issues. The lead on that post is from a song by Brandy Clark, and the line from the song is, "The sun comes up even when the curtains are closed." And I really think that says everything we need to know about what we can gain from looking at post-traumatic growth. It's less about an act and more about what we do after a trauma in order to find our way forward, especially on our grief journey. What is post-traumatic growth, or PTG? I think it'd be characterized by this line we've all heard somewhere in our life. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. The science sees it this way. PTG is a positive psychological change which occurs following trauma, a traumatic life experience. And those negative experiences drive people to re-examine their lives and their world they live in. 30 to 70% of those who have suffered a trauma say they've experienced positive changes following. Or you fall in shit and you come up smelling like a rose. Since I wrote that long piece down below in 2013, the growth the study of post-traumatic growth has been just off the hook. It's been astronomical. A Pubmed search I just did showed 45,000 articles on post-traumatic growth. The same search in Google Scholar found 1.6 million links, 1.6 million links. And a regular old Google search on post-traumatic growth found 7.5 million links. I hope what I'm sharing here is new or interesting to you, but what I want most is it to help you see that healing is not this thing that people throw out at us and closure and the rest of it. What I hope you see from these three parts is that there is some science there. It does happen, and there are elements we can do to help make that happen.